The legendary tabletop RPG Dungeons & Dragons, which has delighted fantasy fans for decades, is gaining new life in the form of live-action adaptations. Not only is there a big-budget film in the works starring Chris Pine, but a lesser-known live-action TV series is also in the early stages of development. In this video, I'd like to talk about the latest news regarding both of these D&D productions. In a deal with Paramount, E1, and Hasbro's Entertainment Studio, a big-budget Dungeons & Dragons movie is in the works with the writing and directing duties handled by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley, whose credits include Horrible Bosses, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Vacation, and Game Night. Chris Pine was the first big name attached to star in this as yet untitled D&D film. And since then, Michelle Rodriguez from the Fast and Furious franchise, Justice Smith from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and Bridgerton star Regé-Jean Page were brought on board to fill out the ensemble cast. While little is known regarding the details of the plot, big names continue to be added for this fantasy film. In an exclusive from Deadline, it was recently reported that Sophia Lillis is joining the cast for an unknown role. Lillis recently played Beverly Marsh in It and Gretel in the film Gretel and Hansel. She is joining the cast of this ensemble production along with Hugh Grant. Though there are no plot details as of yet, Deadline sources revealed that Grant will play a villainous role. Grant has recently starred in HBO's limited series The Undoing and Amazon's A Very English Scandal, as well as the Guy Ritchie film The Gentleman. Currently, the Dungeons & Dragons film is slated for a theatrical release on May 27, 2022. As of right now, that is all we know regarding this particular D&D production. However, details have begun to emerge about the live-action series whose development has recently begun. The show's creator, Derek Kolstad, in an interview with Collider, revealed a few details on how he intends to approach this epic fantasy series adaptation. Kolstad, a writer for the John Wick franchise and the film Nobody starring Bob Odenkirk, in his interview confirmed he is actively working on the TV project with Chris Johnson at E1 and revealed that he was delivering a series Bible to him the day of this interview. Commenting on how deep the world of D&D can go pretty quickly, he also mentioned how much of a joy it is for him to be working on a project like this, growing up reading The Lord of the Rings, Dune, and the D&D offshoot Dragonlance novels. It appears his storytelling approach to this series may differ greatly from the big-budget film that is in the works, as he is looking to steer away from a massive epic in the likes of the war film The Longest Day, but rather focusing on a small segment of the D&D world. The interviewer pointed out that this series could definitely have a massive following, but one that could also be expensive to produce. In regards to that, I did find Derek Kolstad's comments intriguing as he compared his approach to the original Star Wars film.
In the first Star Wars, you heard about Jabba the Hutt, and you don't see him till the third one because you earn at that point, and whatever the budget was for the third one compared to the first one, who cares, right? And I think in Dungeons & Dragons, who has this massive, dedicated community of acolytes, it's like, I don't want to suddenly throw everything on the screen and say, here's the buffet. You'd much rather keep the story intimate. You know, when you think of our favorite movies, you know, it's when you think of first, I'd rather do the First Blood version. You know, it's you know, it's a guy in the woods being hunted, and it's very small, but you allude to the other things through conversation. You have your USS Indianapolis. You see something in the background. You hear a name that 3% of the audience is like, oh, I think we're going to see him soon. You know, I think the thing is just to take a deep breath, to go into it slowly, and to just respect the world. And as you adapt, certain things need to change, but you better not touch the heart and soul of why people love this thing, you know?
From listening to his comments, I must say I am much more hopeful for this series over the film at this point. The original Star Wars films stand out the most for the world building, the themes presented, the unique characters, and their meaningful story arcs. The space battles and lightsaber duels were just one small facet of it, the icing on the cake, so to speak. I also appreciate those stories where it is a bit of a slow burn to something that leads to an epic climax. In the quieter moments of a show is where we get to know the characters, where we start to care about their stories. Action moments in a series like this will of course be epic, but I really appreciate the aspect of laying the groundwork for it first. The story has to earn those fantastic battle scenes. In my opinion, it's a significant factor in what makes them great, similar to the Helm's Deep battle in The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I certainly appreciate his comments about not messing with the heart and soul of why people love D&D in the first place, as opposed to the approach some have used of subverting expectations when it comes to creating a show or movie based on a beloved IP. In regards to the simultaneous D&D productions, Derek wishes all the best for the film if it is this massive spectacle, but again he reiterated that his own contribution to this fantasy world will exist in a little subset shadow of it, with his goal being to explore the deeper aspects of this universe in a similar fashion to how the Mandalorian series exists within Star Wars. His focus is very much a character-driven narrative.
But I agree, but you think of your favorite scenes in a movie, like Indiana Jones is a great example in the first Raiders, right? It's him and the swordsman. It's him running away. It's him failing. It's all these little character beats that even the action sequences, everything is a character beat. In TV, you get to pause. And let's be honest, our favorite episodes of our favorite series tend to be the one where they ran out of money. And it's two guys in a room. It's the bottle episode. And they talk, and they go deep, and they say, I am the man who knocks, or whatever the classic line is that I can't remember right now from Breaking Bad. Those are your favorite moments. Action's action, and we'll get to that, and it'll be cool. But when a guy says or does a certain thing, that's where TV has its strong point,
To close out this interview, Derek again relays his thoughts towards storytelling in this heavily established world.
I don't want to go in the middle of the mythos. I want to come near the end where everything is canonical. It's biblical, like it's happened, or it's about to happen. That way you can revisit certain sequences and storylines that everyone loved in the past through flashback. But where we go is new. The unique yet familiar of it all is why we return to the games we love.
I certainly appreciate his comments regarding canon, staying faithful to what has been established before, to plot a course that is both unique and familiar. I'll leave a link to this interview if you'd like to see it in its entirety. I found it enlightening and have gained a newfound excitement towards this upcoming series. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. And let me know in the comments what you think about the recent news regarding the simultaneous D&D productions, and what you think about Derek Kolstad's involvement and his approach to this unique fantasy world. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.